understanding. Dr. Mencius was extremely thrilled to come and to meet you all, kind of put a face with a name, and just kind of really talk about how SBO can join with your community. This is the perfect location for us to be able to do that, so that we're not just a private practice, on the other side of that invisible line in South Bend. We want to come here and work with you. So thank you for graciously allowing me to step in, and thank you to Hugh and J2's team for also setting this up for us. But again, my name is Heather Meyer Schlip. I don't know if my doctors will ever get used to the fact that I got married, so I think my name will always be hyphenated. But just a little bit about South Bend Ortho. I think when I first moved to South Bend, everyone had a story. They either had a great story and a great experience, or they had another experience with our practice. And I think that's always really important to point out whenever you're in that healing journey. And so South Bend Orthopedics has been around since 1947. This year, we're celebrating our 75th year. So we're working with J2 on how can we promote that, how can we celebrate that, and it really kind of joins together with how can we add another 75 years and work with your community. As we mentioned earlier, my joy and my goal for this year is really talking about the patient experience. And so I need your help to find out how can we improve. And so that's so that we can continue on for another 75 years as a private practice, as a group that builds with the community, joins with the community, and helps heal all of our members. We do have locations in South Bend, Mishawaka, Elkhart, LaPorte, and Plymouth, and really believe that it's important for us to actually come to where you all are. Coming to us isn't necessarily the greatest thing. We want to be able to be very respectful of your time, and so we want to come to the community where we can actually grow and nurture with you. Just a little bit of a statistic is the fact that there are 46 million people in the United States that are over 65. And I think that's powerful, but we don't necessarily care about that 46. We care about the one. What's happening in your health, in your life, whether it's your own personal, your family members, your parents, your spouse. It's that one individual that means the most to you. And so that's who we want to cater to. We think it's amazing that there are this many clients and potential patients that we could help treat and help heal. But it's that one individual when you're with our doctors that we want to make you feel very important, taken care of, trusted, valued, and everything. Within our practice, so just in 2021, we had over 14,000 surgeries. And again, that's incredible, and that shows to what we actually do as a practice. But there's so much more to that, and it is that one surgery. This year, we're talking about a patient concierge feel to medicine. And what that means to me and my team is that we want to focus on, do you have all of the information that you need? Did you get all of your questions answered when you spoke to our doctors? Do you know what to do when you're on your way to the hospital or to the surgery center for that surgery? That can be scary. And so we want to make sure that you also feel like you get that 100% focus from our group, not only our surgeons who are incredible, but also from our staff and all the steps that follow after that. We have 23 board certified surgeons. So that means that they are continuously educating themselves as to what is the latest and the greatest in technology. They're practicing and honing their skills. And they're working with collaborative with each other so that if it's not in their wheelhouse, we have another provider within the practice that can do that as well. And then I pose the question to you all. We currently have a South Bend Ortho now. So it's an orthopedic urgent care at our South Bend office, close to the mall. Is that something that Elkhart would like to see? Would you like a walk-in clinic that is just catered to the orthopedic needs so that you don't have to go to the ER? That's where I'd love to begin building this relationship, and then also having Dr. Mencius here so that you guys could ask him questions. But is that something that works well in your life, that would work well for the community? And where would be the best location for that? We want to actively engage you and the community members so that we're answering the needs the most appropriately versus just assuming what you need. That's not a great way to build a partnership. So when we were working with J2, they came up with 3 different pillars that were real focuses or strengths of our organization. So one of them is obviously the Notre Dame connection. We have been partnering with the University of Notre Dame since 1949, and they demand excellence. And so what we love about putting that up there and kind of promoting that is not only that we are trusted and chosen by the university, but that they expect us to stay up to date, to treat their athletes. And oftentimes I will hear from patients saying, you know, I'm just as important as a Notre Dame athlete. And they're right. You're right if you say that. And so that's why when we're talking with my team now, it's how do we make sure that every single person that comes through our door feels valued. But at the same time, it's trusting that Notre Dame is picking us to take care of their athletes, that we meet those expectations and that we hold ourselves to that same level. So we're very proud of that relationship with them, proud of what we can do for their team, but also want to do the same thing for you. The next item is our innovation. As I mentioned, they are all board certified, meaning they have to go through credentialing and through continuing ed. And so we are proud of the fact that we don't just focus on what is the fad, what is the latest and greatest. We focus on what is the most appropriate need for the patients. And recently we installed a 3T MRI. I am not going to be up here explaining to you what a 3T MRI scan could look like because I'm not the surgeon. But from a layman's term, we really wanted to focus on the patient. For instance, a lot of times people feel kind of claustrophobic when they are going in for an MRI. It's loud, it's noisy, you're in pain, you have to stay still. So we have the 3T that's now faster, it's quieter. We have a warming blanket so that people can feel comfortable when they're in there. And then we also put a window in that room so that it can kind of help with some of that claustrophobia. And so you have that natural light to put you more at ease. So again, we have not only the technology and the innovation, but we're also trying to really put ourselves into your shoes so that you feel comfortable, that I would feel comfortable. But the images themselves are also pretty incredible. They're very clear. I don't know what they're saying, but they're very clear, and the surgeons do. The last thing is our growth, and that is part of the reason why we're here today. We believe that coming to Elkhart and coming to your community is beneficial. We believe in the surgeons that we have. We believe in the innovation, but we want to know what you want. We're planning to open a large location here so that we can treat you in your community. Again, we don't want you to have to feel like you're coming to us. That's not effective for your life. It's not efficient with your time. If you need to go to work and then you've got an appointment, we want to be in your backyard so that you know who you're talking to, so that your surgeon is, you know, going to lunch at the local restaurant down the street during their lunch hour, so that you're involved and so that we're involved. And so looking to you to say what can we do to help merge that and to help bridge it. And so I'm very excited to kind of hear what you have to say and what your needs are. But we are thrilled to open up a location here. Right now we do have a small location over by Litton's. And so welcome to take a look. Hopefully no one has to come there, but if you do, we are there to help treat you. And then obviously Elkhart has an incredible industry in our area. My husband and I, we bought a camper, you know, at the beginning of COVID, because we said, well, we're not going anywhere else, so let's go camping. And we bought one, you know, from this area. That's so incredible. And so we would like to not only as an SBO practice, but try and recognize the fact that employees need to get back to work pretty quickly. You need your employees to get back to work quickly so that they can take care of their families, that we can meet deadlines. And so by SBO being in the area, it reduces some of that time so that employee is away from work. They get great treatment. They, you know, we partner with the employer so that you can get better rates and hopefully work on a way that we can help our workers' comp. And then again, we just have our 5 locations. Obviously, like I mentioned, we want to be where you are. We want to be where the community needs us. And so looking to you all to say, your words have power. I've never been to a Rotary meeting before, but I loved this list. And as soon as I was hearing it, I thought to myself, how can I incorporate that in with my managers? You know, is this true? Is this fair for all concerned? Those are incredible. So your words have power in every different way. And it was very enlightening for me just to hear like those earlier on. But your words have power too for SBO. What is it that the community wants? So I open it up for communication. I open it up for questions. I will help answer anything that you guys have, or I'll take it back to our group and say, this is what you all are saying. This is what you need. And so I'm very excited for the opportunity. I hope that one day when Dr. Mencius or one of our other partners, that they'll be able to join and that you can have a very candid conversation with them. But for right now, this is just the opening. So I'm so thankful. I appreciate all of you so much and open the floor for any questions. Yes, sir.
So how many patients per year will roll through your facilities?
That's up to the community, where our plan is to be open 5 days a week. Can you repeat? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. She even warned me. So the question was, how many patients will be rolling through the new facility? So the answer is, really, it's whatever the need is for the public, but our plan is to have be open 5 days a week, and we would have at least 2 to 3 surgeons in that facility every single day. And then the question to you all of, do you want a walk-in clinic? Would that be beneficial? Would that be something that the community needs? Or do we need to help direct that to another clinic that you all have? Does that answer the question? Yes, ma'am.
For your rehabilitation services, if someone, let's say, had surgery off-site, yes, are they able to do their rehab with you?
Great question. So the question is, could someone who had surgery off-site, could they also do their rehab at our facility? And the answer is yes. So we would have a therapy office at this new location, and we welcome. Of course, we would love for everyone to come to Southland Orthopedics. That's a given. That's just a business practice. But really, our principle is healing. So what is best for the patient as they're going through their healing journey? Not many people, when we met with Hugh last year, Amanda and we said, you know, orthopedics is kind of boring. How do you market Southland Orthopedics? And Hugh says the opposite. He's like, it's not boring, it's great. But really, ultimately, is we want people to heal. We want them to feel better. We know that people don't want to come to an orthopedic surgeon because that means that they're hurt and they're in pain. So how can we make that a little bit easier for them? Yes, sir.
I guess 2 questions.
Certainly.
Related. One was, you talked a little bit about Notre Dame. I'm curious how busy the university keeps doctors, as in what percentage are you seeing for folks? And the second is, I'm curious, what is the most common thing people are being seen for?
Oh, excellent questions. Okay, so how many patients are we seeing that are Notre Dame athletes? I would say, I don't know the exact number, but I do know that we keep up. We're a busy office, but we recognize that, and so we are continuously growing. So we track quite often kind of what the needs of the community are, what the ages of the population are, and studies have found that you want to have one orthopedic surgeon per specialty. So hand, spine, foot and ankle, total joint. You want 1 surgeon for every 100, no, I'm sorry, that's not true. You want 6 to 8 surgeons for every 100,000 people in a population. So that's kind of that general range. But that's not really focused on, is that allowing that surgeon to give them time to get all of their questions answered. So we watch that quite often, but I mean, we have athletes come in and out of the office all the time. Sometimes the surgeons will have to go to that facility, but usually those are sports related, right? They're not coming in for a total joint. So It all kind of depends on the different flux of the athletes. Your second question was the most common. Great question. I would say that our most common surgeries are total joint. So that is the most common. I would say that the most common coming into like our walk-in clinic are usually, I've got some knee pain, I've got some back pain. It's those individuals that they don't know quite yet what to do, but they know that it's finally time to talk to somebody because they're tired of dealing with it. So, so those are kind of our two areas, but total joint would definitely be our top surgical. Sorry, thank you.
Are there plans for a new facility
In the area?
In the area?
Yes, there are plans. Are there plans for a new facility? Yes, there are plans for a new facility. They're not finalized, which is why I think that this is so that we can make tweaks to that plan as the community deserves and wants. But we do have plans. We have talked to an architect. We have talked to land development. We want to ingrain ourselves into your community and be part of the community. We have Amanda Smith here. She is one of our physician liaisons, and she is part of the Elkhart Leadership Group, the academy. So she has been attending those meetings and learning from your groups. She's building in her career growth so that she can become a better leader, but it's also so that we are fully involved. It's been incredible to learn. I'm not native to South Bend. I'm from about an hour south of Indy. And so I had to learn that area. And now it's saying, well, what amazing organizations are there that just need us? That we want our name on the back of, your grandkids' soccer jersey. We want to help support that, but you all know who to go to. You all know who the teams are that need our help, and so we want to be there. It's not just total joints; it's sports. It's you hurt and fall, and you fall and hurt yourself. We want to be there. We want to be top of mind if something does happen in your life that's significant.
Heather, are you at liberty to say what areas you're looking? What are prospective locations for those?
Am I at liberty to say where? We are so close to saying where. We are waiting on a few zoning issues, so I don't want to pop the bubble too soon. So I'd love to say yes, but I can't say it at the moment, so I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
You talked about growth. What is the experience of trying to recruit physicians to come to the South Bend?
Wonderful question. What is the willingness of kind of people to recruit, and how do we do that? I'll be honest, the Notre Dame connection helped us a lot. A lot of times it's that foot through the door. So when I'm meeting,
when people ask us who we are, and
we're
we're 1.4 million neighbors.
I don't know, something happened. Sorry. Oh, it was somebody else's screen, I think. Sorry. So when I am recruiting, I am talking to their families. I'm getting them involved. And my message back to them is, you will probably make more money or be offered more money from a hospital. We can't compete with that. But what we can compete with is we are a local group. We have ties within the community. We build a family network. We ask their wives or their spouses or whoever to come and join them, and we give them tours of the area. So if we're going to recruit for your space, which is the goal, we want people, we want our surgeons to come here, but we want to know, what do you guys need? What does this community need? And so we would recruit that same way and say, how can we build the relationship within your communities? But no, the Notre Dame connection does give us kind of an in, because it's always interesting. I mean, what person out of school wouldn't want to say, yeah, I work for the University of Notre Dame athletic department. So it is helpful, but that is not the end all. The end all is the fact that we are a private practice, that we can help make decisions, that they can treat the patient the way that they would like to be treated, and that they're not going to be dictated by what a hospital may or may not ask them to do. Now, the hospitals are phenomenal to work with, but we have to compete against them a little bit. Yes, sir.
I have a comment
Certainly.
and a question.
Okay.
My comment is, for the last 10 or so years, we've been taking my daughter to see Dr. Mark
Okay.
for rehabilitation. And I can tell you that the overall relationship with SBO, Dr. Mark, has been great.
Okay.
So it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
For both.
He's such a
And
kind
my
man.
question is, my pinky finger hurts. Can you take a look at it?
I cannot. but Dr. Mencius 100% would have. I wouldn't.
That was a joke.
I know, but honestly, I love the men and women that I work with. They are real people. Some of them grew up in the area, some of them moved back, but they really do care. Now, do they want to be out to dinner and be asked to take a look at your pinky? Probably not, but would they? Yes. I mean, they care and they love what they're doing. And so it's very exciting for me to work with individuals that are that passionate. So I love that. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have on-site facilities? So let's say someone were to have surgery that was not an outpatient surgery and they need to stay somewhere. Is your facility large enough to accommodate like overnight and things like that?
The new location that we're looking at?
Yeah.
So we're looking to actually, so the cost savings for the healthcare dollar for the patient is outpatient. So surgery center is the way to go because it does save money. Now, hospitals have such a big impact into that too. We cannot be a healthcare system without our hospitals. So I by no means I'm trying to negate what they're doing. But our plan would be to have a surgery center. So could you have overnight stays? No, but would we build our relationships with the facilities here that if something were to happen, a doctor is always going to take you to where you're safest to have surgery, always. Yes.
For your more significant surgery, joint replacement, those type of things, where are those procedures performed?
Great question. So where are the total joints or the significant surgeries completed? We actually do many of our total joints at our surgery center. But in order for that to happen, the provider goes through a checklist to make sure that you are going to be safe. So again, they would not do anything that would cause any potential harm. They would always err on the side of caution. But we have found many of our surgeries where total joints can happen at the surgery center very easily. It saves money and you're back home. Yes.
How big a hit did you guys take with COVID?
We were very fortunate. So how big of a hit with COVID? We were very fortunate that we were able to keep every single employee. We did an A week and a B week schedule. And the reason that we did that was so that we could continue to treat our patients without having so many people in the same building. So we were very, very fortunate, thankful that we're on the mend and can kind of get back to life. But it impacted us in that we, reduced what we were seeing in a given week, but we were able to bounce back pretty quickly. We did a week, B week for 6 weeks, and then we were back to full flow. And thankfully we had our surgery center because the hospitals were not allowing electives, right? So we weren't able to do elective surgeries at our hospitals so that they could focus on what they needed to do, which was great and thankful. But we were able to continue some surgeries at our surgery center. So having a surgery center in this area would have helped with some of that. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe you already hit on this, and I was listening, I apologize. For the Elkhart location, what is the time frame that you're looking at? And who are you still wanting to talk to get information about the community, to learn how you shape that?
Great. So we would love to talk to anyone. The nice things about planning is I think now is the time that we can make those adjustments. And even if the architectural plans are kind of set in place, what contractor or architect doesn't love a change order request, which is not true. They don't love those, but we want to make this right. We want the facility to be exactly what the needs of the community are. So we would welcome that communication, I would say, for the next year. Even if we started construction on it fairly soon, we would still be able to make changes inside that were appropriate. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I know we can go.
Do you have preventative services as well, or is it mostly focused towards people that are like so far gone that they absolutely need surgery, or do you do any kind of preventative measures?
Absolutely. Do we do preventative measures? I think that ties into like Dr. Markley. We have many surgeons. I mean, surgery to cut is not always the end all. We want people to heal. So that's where we have the MRI, we'd have the therapy, just so that you can have that preventative. One, it's a requirement. Many insurances require that preventative measures prior to going into surgery, but surgery is a very big decision. And that's why our focus is that concierge discussion. I want every single person that leaves our practice that is signing up for surgery to feel like they know exactly what the next steps are, so that they can feel comfortable, so that their spouse or whoever is taking care of them can feel comfortable. So no, our goal is to focus on exactly that. How can we get the best possible treatment? And if it's preventative, it's preventative. We don't need it to be surgical. But if it is, our surgeons are ready.
Really quick
Yes,
before you
please.
leave that, could you introduce your guests? I'm sorry,
Absolutely.
they are right about here.
Perfect.
There we go.
Here
there we
on my right, so this is Amanda Smith. She is our physician liaison, which means that she is our community outreach. She is the person that I want to go to the referral providers and say, how are things going? Be honest with me. Are you having trouble, getting information back and forth from our doctors? Are your patients upset? How can I be that roadblock, and build that bridge? So that's Amanda. And then Hannah is our executive assistant. She also helps with just making things run smoothly. So any kind of problem that comes up, she is our connection. And so could not do a lot of this without her. So happy and thankful to have both of them here. And thank you all so much for inviting us. I'm sorry that I'm not Dr. Macias and have a bunch of miscellaneous stories, but I do love where we work, and I love what we do, and I'm excited for the future, and hope that you communicate with us of what you need. We're excited to be your partners.
Excellent. And I'm sure Heather will hang around for a few more minutes if anyone has extra questions, but I really appreciate you speaking with us, and especially that idea of connectedness to the community. And obviously that's good business practice, but it's good language for us as Rotarians when we talk about that and that connectivity. One of the things that this club did to really get engaged was on its 100th anniversary of Rotary International back in 2005. They founded Wellfield Botanic Gardens. I'm not sure if you've heard of it before. I see nodding, that's good. We have for you, and I'll send you with one for Dr. Macias, and I'll also send you some additional, but I have some passes for you to go check it out. Wait for the weather to clear, although it's beautiful, not today. It's beautiful. It was on the weekend when it was sunny, the snow, but this club made that, and that was something they did to really create something special for the community. And we want to share that with you. So before you get out of here, make sure I give you those. And I just wanted to say too, on Friday, that email I sent out, I put the survey link in there. I'm going to send it out one more time. We got a few more hits over the weekend, but I hope that you all know that we are taking those very seriously. And right now that means me, I'm looking at those. And so I want everybody to know, one, taking these very seriously, but I also appreciate how honest everyone has been. And everyone is clearly getting is it the truth? And there's been some great stuff on there. A lot of, as I said, anything that we need to keep confidential, and keeping confidential, but everyone has some great points. Will we be able to address everything? We're going to try. Will we modify and come up with some creative solutions to things? Absolutely. But the more input we have, and some of these are making us realize we'll probably need a few more specific questions as to what some of you are going for, because we're looking at creating another ongoing strategic plan for the next couple of years. The timing is perfect because I'm going to pass it off to Todd And then and then Todd's gonna pass it off to Julie, but no, they're excited. And Julie has mentioned today in marketing that, you know, we can do this and we can create these things. We are an evolving club. And I don't think that there's anyone in here that would deny that we are not changing in many ways due to many different reasons. But we're gonna try to make it the best we can and make sure that it serves as many needs as we can. So with that, go out and thank you for making the community a better place. Heather and Amanda and Hannah, thank you again for being here today, as are all of our guests, and Rotary is adjourned. Thanks everybody online. And if you'd like take home